Okay, so this is going to be part 2 of our walkthrough of the any percent run for Final Fantasy IV Pixel Remaster. We left off last time right after the Barbaricia fight, right before we go into the Dwarves' Castle. So we're going to pull up a save right before that spot. So what we need to do here, since Yang was unequipped, we need to go ahead and re-equip him by manually removing all from Sid and optimizing Yang. And that should put him with exactly what he needs. While Sid does automatically unequip when we lose him, we don't have a chance later to re-equip Yang before the next fight. So we need to go ahead and take everything off of Sid, put it back onto Yang. We don't need to do any kind of a heal because we spent the night in Cecil's room in Baron Castle, so we're all fully healed up and we're good to go. So with the fight coming up with the dolls, there are 6 of them, 2 different types. If you eliminate all of one type of doll, they turn into the big doll. The easiest thing to do is to kill all of one type of doll so that they turn into the big doll, and then we kill the big doll. The problem with the big doll is if it hits an HP threshold that's low enough, and it could be somewhere around 100 hit points, she will split back apart back into the 6 dolls again, which is a huge time loss if you're even able to survive it. So what we're going to do is we're going to make sure that we only have our highest attack characters, our highest power characters attacking. So that's going to be Kane jumping. There are some that just have Kane jump for the rest of the battle. What we're going to do is we're going to berserk Cecil right before we kill that last doll, or right about the time that they turn into the big doll, so that his attacks are higher. What we're not going to do is we're not going to have Yang attack, because he tends to hit for lower HP, and we're definitely not going to have Rosa attack, because with the lower damage rolls that they have, it's going to increase the likelihood of hitting that HP threshold and causing the big doll to split back into the small dolls again. For what each character is going to do, we're going to have Cecil attack one of the dolls, Yang will attack a different doll, and Kane will jump on yet a different doll. So all 3 of the front dolls that are all the lower HP dolls will each have a different person attacking them. Rosa is going to just Cura on all characters, just to make sure that they can survive this first stage and that they have enough HP for the second stage. We're really not super concerned about people dying here. We actually kind of would like for people to die. Probably everybody except for Kane would be good to die. That would increase the experience that he gets at the end of the not only the dolls, but at the end of the Golbez fight. But we're not really concerned, like I said, about characters, too many characters dying. Definitely Yang and Rosa, they can die, and that would be perfectly fine. So, go at it. This is another battle that you can hit auto battle and speed up the beginning of the battle. Just be careful you turn it off so you can decide on what your characters are going to do. So, I'm holding ATB here. She's going to go into Cura. Cecil, I'm going to put him on the middle. I'm going to put Yang on the bottom. So you see Yang will often not hit that one for enough HP. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to make sure that Cecil does not attack next, since the ATBs are close. So that Cecil is ready to go. And there we go. He's going to So you'll see I waited on Cecil and actually switched to Yang so that Yang would be the one to kill that last doll so that Cecil would be able to go ahead and start attacking the big doll, just to help speed that fight up a little bit. And now I have Yang defending, and I have Rosa casting Cura on all. She probably doesn't need to do that. I will probably have her defend on her next turn, and then let the battle run out from there. She can possibly glare someone, which can cause some problems. That is not good. She could possibly put someone in hold. So fortunately, we had Rosa still alive, and she was able to save us there. So the way this fight works is Golbez will come up, the battle will queue up, and you'll have a few seconds before he starts dialogue. It's basically to give you a chance to try and attack him and see that your attacks are failing. He will put a hold on everyone in the party, and then he'll summon the dragon, and the dragon will start killing off characters one at a time. And he gets to Cecil, and then we have the cutscene that starts where Rydia is coming back into the party. She cures the hold or heals the hold off of Cecil and any other remaining party members. Actually, there are no other party members because Cecil's the only one that's alive, technically. And then she does the Mist Dragon. The Mist Dragon kills off the Shadow Dragon, and then we're left with Rydia and Cecil. As far as the script of the game is supposed to go, we're left with Rydia and Cecil to finish off Golbez. What we're going to try and do is get Kain to jump at the right time so that he is in the air when Golbez pauses the battle and puts everyone in hold. So I like to do a 4 count, and I count backwards from 4. In my notes, I have it counting up to 4, but it's basically a 4, 3, 2, 1. And before I get to 1, I want to make sure that that Kain is jumping. And I start that count as soon as the menu screen pops up where you're able to actually choose an action. So it's one of those things, you just have to do it a few times and you get the timing. But once you've gotten the timing, it's not super hard to do. So here we go. 4, 3, 2, 1. There we go. Another thing here, since Cecil is already dead, it kind of saves a little bit of time, a little bit of dialogue there. But unfortunately, what it is going to do is drag out the battle because Cecil is not alive. He's not able to attack. So Cecil not being alive will drag this battle out about 10 extra seconds. This is actually dragging on a lot longer than it should. I feel like Kain's levels are not as high as they should be. But he went from 25 to 27. So before we leave the castle, we have some things we need to grab. We're going to go to this right side. I'm going to grab the power armlet. That's very important for gets through the rest of the game. I think Cain has it at the end, and we need this elixir. We're going to grab the Dwarven Axe right there. That will help Cain through the next couple of battles. And then we are going to grab 1 Sage's Surplus and 2 Rune Armlets. And we will equip those at a later menu. Coming back over to the left side, we're going to grab 5,000 gil here. And this is going to be the last shop that we need for the game. The last major shop until we're on the Giant of Babel. So we're going to get 45 potion Phoenix Downs and 45 high potions. And that is probably a little too much of each of those, but it's going to guarantee that we have what we need through the end of the game. And we just run out through here. Except right before we exit, we're going to grab a full heal from the pot. And we have a quick menu here. We're going to remove all from Cain and Cecil. That's going to help our fleas through this section. Turn on encounters just to demonstrate. You see how fast Cain's ATB filled up? So that's going to help us run more easily through all of these battles. We're going to grab that green beret. We're going to put that on Yang. We haven't grabbed that very often, or I don't know at all that we've grabbed that, but I'm grabbing it just to give him a little extra attack power for the Dr. Lugay fight coming up. So we've hit that chest there, so we're ready to do a menu here before we keep going. We're going to do optimal on Yang. That's going to give him everything he needs. Nope, that did not do what he needed. I'm going to load autosave there because that didn't do right. And I'm not looking at my notes right now. It's possible that I had to manually equip the power armlet. She is going to get Flame Rod. She has everything else she needs. She is going to get the Rune Armlet, the Sage's Surplus, and she already has a Wizard Hat. He's going to get his weapon. Cain's going to get his weapon. So optimizing Yang is putting the Rune Armlet on him. So we do not want the Rune Armlet. We want to make sure that we equip that power armlet. That will make a huge difference at the Dr. Lugay fight. And I will double check my notes and make sure now that they do not say to optimize. Because if they do, then that's going to be a problem. When we get to this point, we're going to want to make sure that we've healed up. And we want to swap Rydia and Cain. We don't want her on the front row. So we're good to go. So this next battle is a little tricky. You're going to have the Dr. Lugay, and you're going to have Barabbas, I think it is in this version. We want to make sure that the Doctor dies first before Barabbas, because if Barabbas dies, it will turn into another creature that's going to be harder to kill, and he's going to end up killing off several of your characters. So, like, you really need to make sure that we kill the doctor in the back first. What we're going to do is basically have everyone except Yang start by attacking the doctor in the back. Yang's first attack will be on Barabbas, and then his remaining attacks will be on the doctor until the doctor's dead, and then we will attack Barabbas. You can hold off on Yang's second attack until the doctor dies, so that Yang is able to attack Barabbas as soon as the doctor dies, which will increase the chance of killing him right away. So that, because what happens is, once the doctor dies, after a couple of turns, the Barabbas will explode, and that explosion could possibly kill Yang, and that would make the next battle a little more difficult. So to try and avoid that, we can wait, we can hold off on Yang's second attack and have him attack Barabbas once the doctor is dead to try and kill him quickly. So Cecil's queued up first. He's going to go there. Yang's going to go there. We're going to jump. She's going to attack. And Rydia is going to summon Titan. Cecil's going to attack. Wait and see what happens. See, it still didn't work. But his damage didn't hurt Rydia because she's strong against that type of attack. But that's fine. So for this battle, we want to have Yang focus, and then Rosa will berserk Yang, and everyone else is going to defend. Because if we attack him, he will counterattack with sleep. And even with Yang attacking him, he may counterattack with sleep and hit Yang. So then we will need to have either Rosa or Cecil cast Asuna on Yang to bring him back from being asleep. She is going to focus. He is. So there's not much. Like, you don't have to be super fast here because there's not much that's going to happen. All he does is he's going to poison everybody, and he's going to start shooting lasers and doing a couple of minor attacks. But there's not a major problem with taking your time and making sure that you do this in the right order. So that's what we want to see. We want to see damage rolls in the mid 3000s. That was not very good, that low 2000 there. Fortunately, he is not sleeping Yang, so we're just going to let it go, and this should be the one. That was actually fairly simple, fairly straightforward. We run into problems when he puts Yang to sleep, or if he shoots that laser at Yang and kills him. And so then we have to bring Yang back to life. We got to throw a Phoenix down, and then somebody has to immediately be able to heal him so he doesn't die from the flamethrower attack. So it's there's a script to that battle, but it can still kind of go off the rails depending on what happens to Yang. Grab a dry ether there. We grabbed 2 dry ethers. I do not think we need both of them. So in this battle here now, we have 3 of these imps to fight. I forget what they're called in this battle. Goblin captains. Everybody can kill them in one shot, except for Rydia. You can let auto battle run. Well, you can't let auto battle run because they're all defending. You can have everyone attack. You can try and get Rydia to defend. Rosa will be able to kill them with her mute arrow. Not a huge problem either way, just to queue up everyone to attack, and they'll go down pretty easily. One thing we didn't see coming up to this part of the up to this next battle here is it's possible that everybody would be poisoned after the fight with Dr. Luge. And you might think that you need to poison, you might think that you need to heal everyone up after that battle, but you don't really need to worry about any kind of healing at all, because when we get to this battle, we have a full heal right now. So everybody's fully healed. If anyone were dead, they would be healed now, they'd be brought back to life. If anyone were poisoned, they would be cured of their poison. So unless you had 2 or 3 characters dead and then the rest were in critical condition, I would not even worry about trying to heal anything after the Luge fight. Just run straight up to the goblins, and as long as you have enough characters that can survive to kill the goblins, then you'll be fine. So moving on, we are going to just run out of here. There's nothing to grab, nothing to do. So now we have a pretty lengthy cutscene where Golbez takes away our bridge or whatever he's doing here. Sid comes in at the last minute, saves us with the airship, and then we have a long cutscene where Sid is going to blow himself up in the hole to seal back over the hole that we came down into the underground. So I'm going to skip ahead of all of this cutscene here, and then we'll be ready to head to Baron. So here we are ready to head to Baron. I believe if you line up with the edge of this peninsula, you'll be right in line with, nope, you got to be further over. But we want to find a spot where we're at that coastline right there. So you come up, line up with that coastline, then you know right where to go. Or you're right in line with where to land. Talk to Sid's workers for yet another airship cutscene. So I just realized I had my mic muted there for a little bit. Basically, we were just showing that we have Cecil and Kane still unequipped because the encounters through here are pretty rough. We grabbed the Silver Hourglass, we grabbed the Spider Silk, we're going to grab that Dry Ether, even though I don't believe we need it. And we bought the Ice Brand and the Ice Lance, and we had just enough gil to do so because we got the 10,000 gil back in Eblin before we went and fought the Dark Elf. So we're going to roll now through the tower, a new section of the tower. When you come through each door, if you focus on moving to the right, as soon as you come through the door, move to the right. That is going to take you the correct direction. So we came through that door, we went to the right. We come through this door. We obviously have to go down first, but now we're going to go to the right towards that door. Right here, we're going to go to the right. From here, we're going to go to the right. And then from here on, it's pretty straightforward. We don't even need to worry about healing here because we get a full heal before we fight Rubicante. So we are going to fight Edge's parents right here. The only thing we need to do is defend and let the dialogue play out. Defend, hit auto battle, and make sure that you are hitting the confirm button to get through the text. If you've got a turbo controller, you're holding the turbo down so that you can get through the text, or you're pushing a button to confirm through the text. Don't wait for the game to do it on its own. All right, and now we have one of the most difficult fights in the game. Because of that, we are going to quick save beforehand, and I am going to actually play through this battle maybe at least two times, maybe 2-3 times, just to kind of show how it can go differently with different scenarios. And actually, I'm now remembering I forgot to do something back when we first got Edge. When I realized I was muted on my microphone, I forgot to do a menu. So right after Rubicante, when we get Edge, we are going to remove all, give him the Cat Claw, that increases his speed. We are going to Ice Lance, Power Armlet, Black Belt Gi, and Green Beret. That's going to give him high attack power, and we need it for this battle. Rosa is fine. Cecil, we're going to switch out for the Ice Brand, but we're going to keep him naked because we want his speed, especially for this very first round. And then we need to make sure she has the Flame Rod because that increases her magic, her intellect. I'm wondering if she doesn't need a Wizard's Hat instead, because intellect is higher. I'm not going to change that now. So everybody's equipped with what they need. So what we want to do here is, the first thing we want to try and do is throw off 2 Spider Silks. That's going to be Edge and Cecil. They are most likely going to have their turns first. And we need Kane to be able to jump right away. It's possible Kane's ATB will be a little slow, and he won't be able to get the jump off. I would say when Rubicante opens his cloak, if Kane's ATB is not really close to being full, then you might want to wait. And it's one of those things that you just have to kind of get a feel for, because it is possible he won't get the jump off in time. So Edge and Cecil are probably going to throw the Spider Silk. If Rosa happens to get her turn first, she can throw it. Rydia, if her turn comes up super quick and you've gotten both Spider Silks off quickly, she will have enough time to summon Shiva. If she was a little slow getting her ATB filled, we want her to cast Blizzara. Let's just play it safe right here and say we're going to have her cast Blizzara, and we're definitely going to try and get Kain to jump. But the only really attack that we're trying to do for this first round is Rydia casting Blizzara and Kain jumping, and making sure that Cecil and Edge get off the Spider Silks. Edge is going to get a second turn. You can try and have him cast Flood on his second turn in this round, or you can just wait and concentrate on healing. I found that if I'm patient with this battle and I just focus on keeping everyone alive, I can more reliably kill Rubicante in the third round of attacks. And that's really what we want to do. We want to be able to kill him in the third round of attacks. So a lot of what we're going to do is making sure, kind of setting up and making sure that everybody is alive for that third round so that we can do an all-out assault on that third round. If he's not dead the third round, then I will kind of pause and go over what we're going to do then. But for now, we're going to get the battle started. Again, Edge and Cecil are going to start with the Spider Silks. And I'm not going to use auto battle very much here. I have enough time for her to cast Shiva, but I'm going to wait. And actually, she's dead anyways. So what we want to do is, we have Cecil and Rosa pretty much ready at all times to be able to throw a Phoenix down for one of them, and the other one throw a High Potion on whoever was hit with the Inferno spell. But we want to wait until Yang comes down from his jump, because Rubicante will counterattack with Fyra for every physical attack that is done. So if we bring somebody back with a Phoenix down, and then Kain comes down from his jump and Rubicante casts Fyra, then that person's going to immediately die. So we want to wait until Kain has come down before we try to revive any characters who were killed. So right there, we're good. We're going to go ahead and have Edge throw the High Pot. We're just going to wait. So, yep, she died, and that's unfortunate, but we're just going to kind of go with it. So we're going to jump, we're going to Shiva, he's going to Flood, and he's going to wait. We can turn on auto battle during the animation for the spells. Not going to turn on auto battle otherwise. Make sure that you turn off auto battle before that Blizzara cast, because it will queue up attacks. Okay. So there is the Inferno. It's fine. So you actually have quite a bit of time in this next round. So Rubicante is going to cloak himself again. During this time, he's going to attack you, and that's going to make it a little bit longer. You actually have enough time to have any of your characters heal, throw a high pot for one round, and they'll be queued up and ready to go by the time Rubicante opens his cape back up. So really prioritize making sure that you're healed up and you're ready to go. I'm in a good place right here. So I'm not going to have to do a whole lot. I will have Rosa cast Cura on the whole party and probably auto-battle her through the rest of the battle, depending on when her ATB fills again, so that she continuously casts Cura. Everybody's good to go. I need to give Edge a high pot because if he gets hit by an attack, he would be dead. And now she's dead, which is not good. But I have time. Their ATB should fill back up. So you see we're good. So we're going to summon, we're going to jump, ninjutsu, he's going to attack, she's going to Cura, and we're going to hold auto battle, and this should be good. If he's not dead by the time the first round of attacks happen, Edge will be able to cast Flood again, and Cecil will be able to attack again. So you see, we didn't even need all of the attacks to get through it. We killed him in the third round, and that saved a whole nother round of him going back into his cloak, probably 30 to 45 seconds of battle save by killing him in the third round. And that was with Rydia dying, or dying before she could cast Blizzara in the first round. I did not push too many attacks in there. I didn't try to squeeze any extra attacks in there or do anything extra. I just focused on making sure everybody was healed and ready to go for this third round of attacks. So we're going to do it again. Should have quick saved. I didn't quick save after I did all this. To try and see what that does. So we have 2 spider silks. They're going to go out. So it looks like I'm going to try and get her to do Shiva. Doesn't matter anyway, she's dead. It's possible. Nope, see, that was too late on Kayn. So you see, and now I've created a problem for myself because now I have 2 dead characters. So we are going to mitigate this the best way we can. We're going to bring back Edge first. He's fastest. Jerk. Okay. We can get a Blizzara off, so we're going to do that. We can't get a Blizzara off. Oh no! That's okay. We're going to focus on healing ourselves. Wow, you've done killed 2 people. Okay. So you can see, even with things going off the rails, we are going to try and make sure we're still in a good place for this third round. So we're going to go all out here. We're going to see how well we can salvage. It's not going to help if Kayn low rolls his jumps like that. Wizard Hat's not looking like it's doing too well on Rydia there. Got a second flood cast. Just barely. So really what we need here is for Edge to survive. Kane's going to attack. We'll get Cecil to attack. That's not good. Oh, I thought you were attacking. That's fine. There we go. So that was a pretty bad one. We went off the rails in the very beginning because we had Kane jump and it was too late really for Kane to jump. And we should have noticed that from the start, that his ATB filled up too late, but that's fine. We were able to save it. We did not die in the end. We were able to get through the battle, but it just took 2 extra rounds when it should not have. So that probably took a whole extra minute to minute and a half of the battle, but we made it through. Again, though, we started off with a mistake of having Kane jump when he really didn't need to. He was really too late. So play it a little safe. If it's too late for Kane to jump, then just wait. Let's try it one more time because I don't want to end on a bad one. So we are equipped now. I did not like the Wizard's hat on her. It would have just been damage rolls, but I'm used to Shiva doing about 3,500 in damage, and that was about 2,500, so for the one that I saw. So we're here. Good to go so far. Let's just do Blazara. I don't think he has enough time, so I'm going to have him do a regular attack. We're just going to kind of wait here. He's going to attack someone. Jeez, dude, stop it. Again, you can hold auto battle through here, take it off before the damage roll hits, and then turn it on again for Blazara and take it off again. Okay, Phoenix down on her now that Kane has come down. We're going to high pot Rydia and Kane because Kane's looking low. Probably going to throw one on Edge as well, just in case he gets hit. And now we're just going to wait. She's going to go ahead and Cura all. Getting ready to go. There we go. Shiva, Flood, attack, Cura all, and let's see if we knock him out in this round. A little bit of a low roll there on Shiva, but you see we still beat him there. And we still had another Cecil attack and another Edge being able to cast Flood. And that was in the first round, Kane couldn't jump. Kane was only able to do a regular attack. And Rydia was only able to cast Blazara and not Shiva. So, again, don't feel like you have to push too hard in the beginning of the battle. Just keep the battle on the rails. keep your characters alive so that you can go all out for that third round of attacks. And hopefully he'll be able to go down during that third round. So we don't really have a lot we need to do here. You know, we go up into the crystal room. There's a trap door. We fall back to the underworld. We're still in the tower, but we're in the bottom section of the tower. We find the airship, the Falcon, and we fly back to the dwarves. We go find Sid. Sid helps us fix up the Falcon a little bit so that it can fly over lava, which will enable us to get to where we need to go. We are here now. Yep. Double check all of our equipment. Yep, so after we've gotten through that whole section, we made it back to the dwarves. We had to tell the King Gaiet again that we had lost a crystal or we failed in our quest. We don't have a way of flying over the lava because this airship wouldn't fly over lava. So then we go and find Sid in the infirmary. Sid comes and works on the airship. So now it's coated in some mithril. I think they say mystic silver in the original version. And it's now able to fly over lava. So we're going to come into the Sylph Cave. Really, the only thing we need to be concerned about is making sure that we have characters alive. We're going to lose HP as we walk over all of these damaged tiles here. The battles in here are pretty brutal, especially the Malboros. They will cast bad breath on you that will basically inflict every status effect on your characters, which can make it your character can't do anything, so it essentially kills that character for the battle. If you get into a back attack with the wrong pack of enemies, it's possible that they could kill all of your characters before you can do anything because we're all in critical health. We're all at 1 HP. So if you get a back attack from a 5-pack, then you're done. Just about, unless they miss somehow. Most of the time, getting through here is not that big of a deal, but occasionally you're going to die. You're going to have a reset. But our goal here is to get to this part. I didn't navigate us through here very well, but you kind of saw the path that we took through here. The trickiest part is that secret path. As soon as you come in, I think it's the second doorway, which is the third room. You immediately have to go to the right to come through that secret path. And we're going to open up this chest for the Avenger. And so what I need to do is make sure Cain is healed and not going to die, and everybody else can be at 1 HP. I do need to make sure that Rydia has at least 80. No, she needs like 85 at least magic points, because she has to cast Titan twice, and then she needs to cast Blizzard to kill herself. Because we want only Cain alive at the end of this battle so that he gets all of the EXP, and so that he is set up for the next dungeon where we have only Cain alive as well. And so we're trying to build up his EXP for the end of the game because he is our end of the game hero. He is the one character that's going to carry us through. So we're going to open this chest. There are 4 Malboros. They will almost always get at least 1 bad breath off, possibly 2. What we want to do is run buffer as soon as the first person gets their turn. The tricky part with that is if they get their turn right when the bad breath is being cast, then you're not going to be able to run buffer because the ATB is already paused there for the animation of that spell. So it can kind of like you're trying to run buffer and you're wondering why it's not working, well, that's because the animation's already up for the spell. So then just go ahead and go into the menu and try and queue up the silver hourglass. You want to wait on the silver hourglass, which is what we're going to use to stop them all, just like we did a couple of other times in this run already. You want to wait, though, because if you queue it up to use it and that character gets hit with bad breath, the game has a mechanic where it basically eats that item if a character has it queued up and then they die. And I don't know that this happens in any of the other PRs, but it happens in this one as well. So we're going to need to be careful with that here and on the Zeromus fight. We need to make sure that we don't queue up items unless we know that character is going to be able to use it. So while the bad breath animation is happening, we're going to wait and make sure that they're not attacking the character that we're trying to use the item with. So here we go. So again, see, I tried to run buffer, but it didn't work because the bad breath animation was already being done. But they only got it once. They didn't use it on Cecil, and so now Cecil is going to be able to attack. Now we can run into a problem here where Edge, who has now been confused, he might attack Rydia and kill her. So we just got to be careful and watch for that. But all of the Malboros are stopped right now. We use the silver hourglass, so we can take our time and do what we need to do to make sure the battle is a success from here on out. So there he goes. He hit Kain, which is not a big deal. She is going to summon Titan. She's going to kill herself. He's going to kill himself. Oh, that jerk. I have never seen that happen before. He put Kain to sleep. Should be able to wake him by hitting him, but she won't hit him. There. So Kain's going to jump. I have never seen that happen before. And Rydia is going to cast or use Titan twice. Only twice because we don't want her to kill them all. After her second time, we want to make sure she kills herself. So, jeez. See, about messed up with auto battle. You can use Blizzara on all. It saves a few button pushes. She's not going to kill Kain with Blizzard. So then we run the battle out from here. That was wild. I've never seen character put to sleep, because usually if Edge attacks one of those characters, it's going to kill him because they only have 1 HP. But he hit Kain, so I think it's probably the only time that it's been Edge that's had bad breath used, and he attacked Kain, and it put Kain to sleep, because the cat claw has a status effect of putting to sleep whoever you attack with it. So if that ever happens, that's how we get through that. Hopefully Rydia will not miss when she's trying to wake Kain up. So we come all the way down to the sealed cave. This is the last special item we have. Again, push left, and it gets you to the item you need. And we need to equip Kain with the Avenger. The Avenger, it has decent attack power, but what it does is it puts the equipper, the wearer, the wielder, it puts them into a berserk status, which increases their attack power, increases their speed, so they're able to attack more quickly. And you see we have an agility plus 10. This is going to help us be able to attack the trapdoors before they are able to kill us. It's also going to give us the speed that we need when we fight Zeromus later on. We've tried to route it in where we skip getting the Avenger. We skip taking that extra trip up into the Sylph Cave. But the Avenger gives us so much more speed, and even just the ability to get through this sealed cave. You end up losing the time that you save on not getting the Avenger. You end up losing it trying to get through the sealed cave in the first place. because in order to get through the trap doors, you then have to have Cain jump over the attacks, and you have to time that up correctly, and that just takes much longer. So, and then you get to the Zeramus fight, and that fight takes a lot longer as well. So while it seems counterintuitive in a speed run to take the extra time to go up and grab an item like that, it just speeds everything else up after it. So we go and we grab it, and it is a big help for us. So we are going to make sure that he has the Avenger equipped, and he is healed. And we're going to revive Cecil. But we're not going to heal him, because we want him to die in this next battle. You're going to get one encounter through here, probably somewhere around here. And then our goal is to limit our encounters. I'm going to have the goal of getting only one more encounter through the rest of this, a random encounter anyways, through the rest of the dungeon here. And I'll show you how we're going to try and do that. But first, this first battle here, we bring Cecil back to life because sometimes Cain's damage rolls are a little low on this first door, and it can cause him to die. And then we have to reset from a... Usually we would quick save here, and then we would need to reset from that quick save. We don't need to do that if we just bring Cecil back and let Cecil attack one time, and then he attacks himself. And that looks like this. Again, Cain is berserked, so he's going to automatically attack. And he'll attack again. Cecil will attack himself. Third attack for Cain, and then we're good. And it's good that we did that because if you notice that last damage roll Cain had was about 1,400. And that's not going to get it. If he's dropping 1,400, the door is going to survive, and he's going to use the demolish spell. I forget what it is in this version. But he's going to kill. It's an instant death spell. It's going to kill Cain, and then we're game over. I think you need to be rolling about 1,600 to 1,700 on average to kill the trapdoors. I'm going to turn on encounters, and we're going to see if we can get through with just the one encounter. So you see with Cain's extra levels that he gained, our damage rolls are much better now. So every one of these trapdoor encounters, they count as an actual encounter, so they will reset the step counter as far as like how many steps you go before you get another encounter. When you take encounters like this, that counts as an encounter for the step counter. So if you are one step away from getting an encounter and you open a trap door, you're not going to get an encounter on the next step. It resets all the way over. So we're going to try and use that to our advantage to help us skip any regular encounters that we don't want to take. So you should be able to get from that last door all the way to this door without a random encounter, which is great because some of the encounters in here are the bats, and you could potentially have to wait through 6 bat attack animations, which is a huge time loss. We're going to come in here. These steps are all free because we're not going to get another encounter before this door. We're going to grab that light sword, and we're going to use it later. Edge is going to dart it or throw it. You might be wondering why we're taking all these doors. These doors are building us levels so that Cain is strong enough to get through the Zeramus battle, but then also fast enough. As his levels increase, his agility increases, and that gets him to the speed that he needs to be able to take on Zeramus. I've done a lot of experimentation with Cain beating Zeramus at different levels, and you can technically beat Zeramus at... What are we at, 42? I've beaten Zeramus at level 42, but the whole battle just, it takes longer because your damage rolls are lower. so you just have to wait through more rounds of all of the stages of Zeramus, and it drags the battle on 2 or 3 extra minutes. And there's no sense in taking all that extra time when it takes 10 seconds to fight a trapdoor that you're already walking by. So we're going to skip that door for now because of the number of steps we have between encounters. We're going to skip that door. We're going to come back to it. Because this next doorway, we actually have to go inside. These extra steps of me going inside would mean it's too many steps to get from there all the way down to the next door, and I would get an encounter along the way. We picked up that black cow. That increases speed as well. We're going to give it to Cain. But if I go from this door, so coming back to the doors and the steps, if I go from this door to the very next door, that is a lot fewer steps, and I should be able to get down there without an encounter. It's not a guarantee, but it is a decent chance. So again, this is the goal we're trying to set up, eliminating any extra encounters. We're going to run straight across. Oh, I didn't make it. Now that is the worst encounter right there. So you can see I was 2 steps away. And the last I counted it, and I don't know if it's different in different rooms, but it's anywhere around 27 to 33 steps where you can get, before you get another encounter. Be curious to go back and count how many steps that is from that door to this door, but we're going to skip that for now. One unfortunate mechanic of the Avenger Sword is if you get a preemptive attack, you will attack automatically, so you will not be able to run automatically. So if that bat attack that I just got, if it were a preemptive attack, he would have attacked first, and then I would have had to have waited through the animation of 5 bats then attacking. I would have killed one of them. 5 bats attacking and the vamp lady, I forget what the name is in this version, waiting for her to attack as well. So again, we're hoping we get no encounters to this door, and we made it. I would even suggest when you come through this doorway, walking. So not running, not sprinting, but walking, just to make sure that you can get those last few steps and you don't take any extra steps to try and avoid getting an extra encounter. We will get an encounter right about there. And this is terrible. It would be unfortunate that the 2 encounters I would get would be this formation. Oh, she's called a Miss Vamp in this version, not a Vamp Lady. So. That room we just came through, there are no encounters in that room, so you don't have to be super particular about your steps. There are no encounters in this room except for this door. Kane's hitting hard enough now that he's killing the doors in two hits. Oh. We're going to bring Kane back up to full HP so that he's ready for the next battle. He's at level 46. That should be fine. And we have the demon wall that we're going to fight. So with this, it's basically just a race to the end to try and kill the wall before he gets to his last part and he uses Crush. Crush is an instant death spell, and we can't survive it. But we're just going to auto battle here and hope that we get good damage rolls. 2700 is great. Generally, anything above 2,000 is what you're looking for. I mean, it needs to be a little bit more than right above 2,000, but what we don't want to see is anything below 2,000. That's not good. But we're looking good here. You notice there are two little white spots on the wall that he's coming up to. He starts using Crush as he gets close to that second white spot. So like once he crosses that first white spot, you're hoping that he's coming down quick, because within the next couple of turns he's going to start throwing Crush at you. So what we do here, just to help be able to run, we're going to bring everyone back to life. We're not going to heal them. We're not worried about healing them. 2 or 3 of them die in one encounter on the way back. We might revive them just to help make our fleas faster. But that also helps in case we get a preemptive attack, that we're not having to wait through all the enemies attacking again. Because if it were only Cain alive, he would automatically attack, and then we'd have to wait through the attack animation of all the enemies that are left. And if it's all those bats again, now we're going to have to deal with all that. Whereas if we have everybody else alive, Cain can attack, but we have 4 other characters that are able to run. And we don't need to worry that everybody was in critical health, or even if anyone's dead, because we get a full heal right here. I want to say that anytime somebody leaves or gains in the party, you might get a full heal. They are centered around those instances quite a bit. But everyone's at a full heal right here. So we have a lot of scene type stuff coming up. We have to go back to the dwarves, tell the king again that we failed. Sid's gonna do another airship cutscene. We have to go to Mazidia, where we get the big whale, or the lunar whale, as it's called in this version. And then we have to head towards the moon. So I'm gonna skip ahead until we are headed towards the moon. There are a couple of things we have to do there, and then we have some more cutscenes. We're going to skip ahead until we get to the giant. So here we are, ready to jump on the lunar whale. As you are arriving to the moon, if you hold down and right, you're going to be going in the correct direction. And then you're just 1 tile lower, and that would be the ideal spot to land. And definitely land on the stairs, because every step is dangerous through this section right here. I had more than 1 PB ruined because of a back attack or just an unfortunate encounter that ended up killing me through here. A couple of things you can do to help. Since your higher HP characters are in the front, or higher defense, let's move them to the back so they have a higher chance of surviving. And basically, after every encounter, if somebody's dead, you're going to want to bring them back to life. Let's just turn on encounters here just to kind of see. And if you're lucky, you're going to be able to run, or you'll get a back attack. A couple of back attacks here. Wow. So you can see how bad it can go right there. So we're going to bring everyone back to life. Since everybody was dead, I'm going to go ahead and use high pots to heal them. So you see how bad it can go. I turned on encounters for one single encounter, and we saw what it's like. So you can get wiped pretty easily through there. If it's not a back attack, if it's just a regular attack, you're going to stand a better chance of surviving with Cecil and Edge in the back row. So it's not so dangerous after we get Fusoya because his defense is pretty good and he has the most hit points of any of our characters so far. Plus, it's just one more character to be able to survive. But I have had, I think there was one run where I had 2 times in a row. I had to reset twice on the way back, even with Fusoya, because I got back attacks or got some other attacks, and everybody got wiped out. The first thing we're going to do is go ahead and change out his equipment. Why is he missing a rune armlet? Should have had an extra rune armlet. So maybe the save that I brought up, I did not buy all of the rune armlets that I should have. Because I should have bought 2. Rydia comes to us with 1. So one of those goes on Rosa, and the other one we save for Fusoya. So it's possible I, for some reason, did not buy one when I set up this save. So we're going to take it off of... has more hit points. Let's take it off of Rosa, because we need Fusoya to survive. So the equipment he comes with, we want to leave all this on here, because the attacks, when we do the 4 Fiends fight, the attacks from particularly Rubicante in the last phase are going to have Fusoya really close to death. I want to grab this Lunar Curtain. We cannot finish the game without it. We're going to head back. We're going to skip ahead of some cutscenes here. Okay, so here we are, ready to run through the giant. This is another section where encounters are going to be rough. You're going to need to come in, you're going to need to throw a lot of Phoenix Downs to get people back up to health. This is where the menuing trick of exiting the menu can help. I don't know if I can get into an example here. So I can go and immediately exit out, and you can hear the Phoenix Down sound effects is still playing, even though I was already out of the menu and running away. Just for navigation purposes, you're going to run around. There's nothing to... there are no really detours to take here. You're coming through here. You're just going to go straight up this way. So everything else is a chest. We're going to the right again. We're going to take this middle path up and around. We're going to come down and go to the right. Talk to this guy here. We're going to buy 2 Antarctic Winds. We only need 1. Well, I buy 2 as a safety. It's 500 gil. It's not a big deal. Just in case, I don't know, something happens. I accidentally throw it at the wrong time. Maybe I throw it against Barbariccia, but we need it for Rubicante. So I'm going to buy 2. We're going to buy 8 of these. We only technically need 5, but just in case. We're going to buy 2 Shurikens, and then we're going to just top off High Pots and Phoenix Downs. So, and I'll show you where we use the Shurikens a little later, and you'll see where we use all of these. This is another battle where I don't know that I even need to do this a couple of times, because for the most part, it's scripted all the way through. There are a couple of weird things that can happen in the first, I say the first 2 for Scarmiglion and Cagnazzo, but it's not any major problems that they should cause you. We don't need to heal because we're going to get a free heal here. And we want to make sure our rows are like this. We want Fusuya and Cecil and Edge in the back. So unfortunately, the ladies are going to be our meat shields for this one. So this is in 4 stages, and I'll probably just pause before each stage. The first stage is Scarmiglion. He is going to die to 2 elixir throws. We're going to throw 2 elixirs on him, and we're going to get him to change by having probably Edge throw a potion. But before we kill him, we need to set a few things up. We picked up that lunar curtain back on the moon when we were coming back with Fusuya. The lunar curtain basically is going to make Cecil invincible. Any physical attacks are going to miss. Magic attacks should be reflected. They're not reflected by the time we get to Rubicante, and honestly, I don't know if it wears off by then, or if for some reason Rubicante's magic attacks just aren't affected by a wall. But it saves Cecil in the early parts, the first 3 parts of this battle, because he's immune to physical attacks. So we are going to throw the lunar curtain on Cecil. We need Fusuya to use the Hermes shoes that we picked up all the way back at the beginning of the game, before we fought Octomammoth. That's going to give him the speed that he needs to be able to basically get through the Rubicante portion, because he's going to die. He's going to cast Blizzaga and kill Rubicante at like the last minute, right before Rubicante kills him. It seems like it's like you're running on a knife's edge, but the timing works out perfectly. And so if we do everything we're supposed to do, then there's really no risk of failure here. Edge is probably going to get his turn first, so he's going to throw the elixir first. And then if either Rydia or Rosa are still alive, they are going to throw an elixir as well. So we have 3 elixirs with us right now, and we need all 3 of them to get through this whole battle. 2 of them are on Scarmiglion. We're going to throw 1 on Fusuya at the end during Rubicante phase. So take a look at how this goes. If for some reason we end up with some extra turns in the first 2 phases, so either Cagnazzo or Scarmiglion, we're going to, if we end up with some extra turns, we're going to try and make sure we bring some people back to life. Ideally, we want to go into the Barbariccia phase, the 3rd phase, with Fusuya, Cecil, and Edge alive, and then we can finish the battle with those 3. Could do some run buffering here, but it didn't help. So Cecil threw the lunar curtain, the elixir he's going to throw, and Hermes shoes he's going to throw. So that's the first 3 things that happen. I was able to get to Rosa's turn, and she did not get killed. If he would have hit her, she would have died probably. So she can throw the 2nd elixir. So now I'm ready to go. But I don't want... So I don't want Edge to throw this potion until Fusuya is ready to go, because the potion is going to trigger the change, and we don't want him to change until Fusuya is ready. So we're going to potion him. We're going to Thundaga, and then we need Cecil to cover Fusuya, which will mean that even though Fusuya is not in critical health, he's going to cover him and keep him from taking damage, because we need Fusuya to live. If he dies, then we've lost our haste status, and like, it's a whole mess. You can recover from it, but it's a whole mess, so we don't want him to die. Another thing we need to be careful of is Cecil cannot at any point be in critical health, or he will not cover. So we need to be careful watching his HP. He's at 443. He's pretty close. I'm going to need to get a high pot on him pretty quickly. So now we're in the second stage here. Kanyatso is going to die to 4 Rage of the Gods, 4 Rage of the Gods, and 2 Thundagas by Fusoya. So as I queue up those Rage of the Gods, I need to count them so that I know how many I've thrown, because I don't want to do too many. I don't want to trigger him to change too early. I want to make sure I'm ready before he changes. So 4 Rage of the Gods, 2 Thundagas by Fusoya. If Fusoya has already done his 2 Thundagas and then he gets his turn again, and you don't have anyone else alive, or you don't have, like, it's just Fusoya and Cecil at that point for some reason, you can go ahead and have him throw a Rage of the Gods to get the change to go ahead and happen, or you can use him to throw a Phoenix down to bring someone else back to life. He should only get his 3rd turn, and then Kanyatso hasn't changed if you've got characters dead. So if you get his 3rd turn, he's already done 2 Thundagas, you might want to just go ahead and bring someone else back to life. So Cecil's going to cover here. We're going to throw Rage of the Gods. That's 1. 2. Nope, there's 2 right there. I'm going to do a high pot here because I'm nervous about that. Okay. 3. There's Thundaga queued up. There's the wave. See, that would have put Cecil into critical. There's 4. And this should trigger the change. So Barbaricia is going to die to 2 casts of Holy from Fusuya and 1 Rage of the Gods thrown by Edge. So we're doing a lot of waiting here for Fusuya to be able to get his turn twice. So in the meantime, we're going to be having Cecil and Edge kind of just wait. You can have them defend, but the thing is, you want their ATB filled, because when she uses Maelstrom and puts everyone into critical health, you have to be ready to throw a high pot on Cecil right away, because she will then hit. She'll hit a character within like the next couple of seconds, and if everyone's in critical health, she can kill Fusuya, because then Cecil's not going to cover because he's in critical health. So we got to make sure Cecil is not in critical health. So we're going to resume battle here, and we have Edge's turn is up. I'm going to go ahead and probably have him defend. So this is, we're going to wait for her. So I can do auto battle while the holy animation is going, and that's fine. So I'm going to go ahead and high pot him. We're going to get Fusuya to get his 3rd one. And we need Edge to be alive. So I'm actually not sure. Oh, he must not have been in critical health. So Edge wasn't in critical health, so Cecil did not cover him. So now we're good, because everyone's going to be in critical health. And I'm talking, and I didn't even notice if Fusuya... Yeah, he did, because he's at 38 MP. So he has now done his 2nd Holy. Everybody's full health, and I need to make sure Fusuya is ready to go. So, everybody's ATB is filled. Fusuya's ATB is filled. Typically, when you get to this part of the battle, you're going to have Edge ready to go before Fusuya is ready to go. So we're going to be waiting for Fusuya's ATB to fill back up, because as soon as we throw this, we want him to be throwing Blizzaga, and we want Elixir on Fusuya. So now, he's going to die with 3 Blizzagas and 1 Arctic Wind. But in order for Fusuya to survive, we needed to have thrown that Elixir. So Cecil's first turn was to throw the Elixir. Edge's first turn is going to be to throw an Arctic Wind, or Antarctic Wind, Arctic Wind, and Cecil's going to get 1 more turn, and he's going to throw a High Pot on Fusuya, because his next turn is going to come after Fusuya casts Fira. So we're going to make sure that we throw a High Pot on Fusuya so that he has as much HP as he can to survive the rest of the battle. You can build in some safety here if you want by having another character alive at the end of the Barbariccia fight. That will give you another character to be able to throw a High Pot on Cecil. That will let Cecil survive 1 more turn so that he'll be able to throw a High Pot after Rubicante casts Firaga. So you can build in some safety there if you want to. You can bring in or keep another character alive there. But we really only need these 3 characters to get it to happen. So there's the Arctic Wind. Okay. He's going to cast Fira. We're going to go ahead and High Pot. Edge is dead. So it's possible, like right there, you could have gotten another High Pot on Cecil, and maybe he would have survived long enough to throw another High Pot on Fusuya. But we really didn't need it, so we're good to go there. Occasionally, Inferno is going to high roll. And it seems, I don't even know a percentage of time. It doesn't seem like it's that often. But occasionally that Inferno will high roll, and it will be like 1,300 damage. And if that happens, then you're going to be kind of close on your HP. We would have been really close there if that would have high rolled, because he was only at 1,400 HP, somewhere in the 1,400s. Fortunately, Fira doesn't hit for very much, so he should be able to survive, but I've had it happen where we've gotten a game over there. And I honestly can't say if for some reason his equipment wasn't where it needed to be. But that's why the Rune Armlet's very important on him, because it gives us that extra magic defense compared to the Diamond Armlet that he had. And it even doesn't show up in it's a magic evasion is what it is. It gives him just enough magic evasion that helps him survive there. So what we're going to do here, I'm going to go ahead and switch them back. I'm going to bring Rosa and Edge back. We're going to unequip Rosa because we need her speed to be faster here. All right, so the way this battle is going to go is we need Fusuya first to cast Flare on the healing node, the defense node, so that it stops healing the main CPU. Edge is probably going to get his turn first, so you're going to need him to wait. Because as soon as Fusuya queues up his Flare cast, we want Edge to start throwing. The first thing he's going to throw is the Light Sword. So we're going to have him throw the Light Sword. Wait, we're going to have Rosa defend because we don't need her to do anything right now. So we have Fusuya ready to go. We're going to flare the defense node. We're going to throw the Light Sword. And now we're going to queue up the next couple of rounds. So we're going to throw Shuriken. she's going to use this Kinesis Staff, and what this does is it casts Dispel. So it's going to take away the wall, the reflect status of the main CPU, which will give Fusoya just enough time, if he's queued up, to cast Flare on the main CPU. So we're going to do this. So now we have those 3 characters queued up, and we're going to let Auto Battle roll. So we're going to get Shuriken again. Boom. We're going to get Dispel, Kinesis Staff, and I missed something. Hopefully this is a reminder for you not to miss it as well. We need Fusoya to have an ether there, or he will not have the MP he needs to get through. So throw the light sword. Okay, we're gonna throw, make sure Fusoya's ready. All right, throw Shuriken, Dispel, and flare the main unit, and then auto battle. And we will go through the same sequence one more time. Have another Shuriken, Dispel again, flare. So this next time, Edge is going to need to throw a dry ether on Fusoya so that he has enough MP to get through the rest of the battle. We don't have any more Shurikens, and we actually don't need to throw anything else. We've knocked enough HP off to where one more flare and then a cast of Meteo will kill everything at once. And that will end the battle fairly quickly. This whole split should be about 2.5 minutes. So Edge will get his turn next. We're going to throw a dry ether, and then we're going to auto battle. And Rosa and Fusoya should be able to keep that same action going. They should be able to get another round of Dispel and Flare in perfect sync, which is why we unequipped Rosa so that her ATB would be just fast enough to be ahead of Fusoya so that she would cast before he did. So here we go. Dry ether, auto battle. Now, occasionally, the gap here can be too much, and he will cast a wall again. He'll cast reflect again. You'll be able to tell that because the ATB will freeze when he casts reflect. So you just need to be aware of that. It's possible he could cast reflect again, and you need to take auto battle off so that Fusoya does not cast that flare again and end up killing himself. Haven't seen it happen often, but I have seen it happen before. So just be careful on that third one. Rosa's ATB starts to get a little bit faster, and she might cast it a little bit too quickly before Fusoya can get his attack in. So this next round, this final round, we're going to have Edge throw a high pot, Rosa will defend, and Fusoya will queue up Meteor. Some low rolls, but that's why we have the light sword. So it being thrown helps with the damage rolls and helps ensure that we're able to kill him with only 3 flares and a meteor. We're going to high pot. We are going to defend with Rosa. We're going to cast meteor. And then we're defending. And if it's really good, both Rosa and Edge will be dead. And that helps funnel more EXP. But that's how that battle goes. We have some pretty long cutscenes here. So I think what I'll do is I will end this video, because really the only thing we have left is the Zeramus fight, and I think I'm going to do a video just on Zeramus and try to do both of the possible routes that battle could take, because there are two possibilities depending on whether or not you can get off 3 spider silks or whether you only get off 2 spider silks. So there are a couple of little things to show in the video, so I'm going to skip ahead some of these cutscenes, and I'll show you a couple of things in the lunar when we get back on the moon, and we'll end this video, and the next video will be the Zeramus fight. Right, and so after all of that cutscene, you end up right here. But we're not going to go walking all over the moon to get to where we need to go. We're going to fly back up, straight up, and 2 squares to the right. So now that you have Kane back, we want to go ahead and equip him with all of his stuff. This is going to help him survive. It's going to give him some more speed. The Black Cow will give him some more speed to help us be able to run more quickly from battles. And we're not going to do the Avenger yet, because if we get any preemptive attacks, it's going to have him attack. And some of the enemies on the moon will counterattack. So we're going to bring everyone back. At this point, you can use high pots or you can use magic. So I'm already in the item menu, so I'm going to go ahead and use the high pot since I'm there. And you can see we ended up with 50 Phoenix Downs, 32 high pots. If we were not having encounters turned off, so if we didn't have encounters turned off, we would have used more high pots, and we would have used more Phoenix Downs as well. And we would still use quite a few Phoenix Downs on this section of the moon, dealing with all of these encounters. Just about every attack is going to kill somebody or get them pretty close to being dead. So again, still pretty dangerous as far as encounters are concerned, but not as dangerous as our first trip to the moon, and not as dangerous as the Giant. I would say there are also probably fewer multiple packs of enemies. Like, you have some packs where you'll have maybe some 3 or 4, but a lot of the encounters here are single encounters. So I'm going the wrong way. So while they might get an attack in and kill one person, it's not like they're going to wipe your party out. I don't know that I've ever had a game over through this section. Had some annoying encounters, but for the most part, no game overs. There are no chests to grab. We don't need anything in here. Pick up 1 chest when we get to the subterrane. Nothing in here. But we are going to grab this elixir right here. And that is just in case something goes wrong with Zeramus. It's not much for us to grab it, so there's really no sense in not grabbing it. Most of the time, I would say I don't need it. I would say when you're first learning the run, if you're unsure of the run, definitely grab it, because it can save the battle for you. It's very easy to make a little mistake in the beginning and get hit with Big Bang or get hit with Bio. Even if you've run this 100 times, still sometimes something can go wrong and you could get hit with something, especially if you don't get 2 spider silks off. and you have to go through all the steps it takes to be able to get the third spider silk off. You're playing with a Zeramus that's faster, and so the timing is a little more tricky, a little trickier. So we want to grab that elixir. It's not that big of a deal to grab it. You're not losing a lot of time there. Before I walk in, I'm going to equip Kane with the Avenger, so he's ready to go. And we're front row. We want to make sure he's front row here. If you left him back row, or if you left the row swapped for the CPU fight, it's fine for the CPU fight, but it's not going to work for the Zeramus fight because Kane is going to do some regular attacks. So we need to have him front row so that he gets the full damage of being in the front row. And Zeramus doesn't do any regular attacks, so we don't have to worry about taking extra damage. The goal is actually to get through the fight with Kane taking no damage at all except for the very end. So I'm going to stop this video here, and video 3 will be just the Zeramus fight. So we'll go through both ways that fight could take. So thank you guys for watching, and again, just like always, if you have any questions, you can put it in the comments of the video, or if you're on Discord, you can send me a message on Discord, and I can certainly answer any questions you have about the run, this version of the run, or if maybe you have some ideas on how to make it better, that as well. You know, it's still evolving, things are always changing. So take care, see you in the next video.